This weekend just cranked out some of the most make-believe results you'll ever see. A high school senior is the second fastest 100-meter sprinter in the US, the sprint capital of the world. A 16-year-old kid is a serious threat to make the US Olympic team, and he just keeps getting faster every single race. And the current world's fastest man? He's a Kenyan police officer during the day.
I'm a cop by the way.
Yo, what?
I'm a police.
He's a cop.
Gun on the hip and everything.
You haven't seen me in my uniform.
Hide the weed, hide the weed.
So let's start with the high schoolers. Christian Miller, high school senior, second fastest man in the US right now with a 9.93 and a positive 1.6 wind. You run a time like that once, the threat is debatable at such an inexperienced age. Till this weekend where he went sub 10 again, 9.95 with even less wind. This took place at the New Balance High School Nationals in a semi-final and obviously a high school only field. And while everyone was extremely hyped to see what he could do in the finals, he skipped it. And that move is honestly genius. He's avoiding unnecessary racing before the Olympic trials, making it clear he is targeting a US Olympic team spot. And the reality is setting. He could seriously make the team. Unlike a lot of the NCAA stars, he only has 4 serious races in his legs this year. So consider this. He hasn't even peaked for the year yet. We might not only see him run faster come trials, but actually make the team and be a threat. 18-year-olds aren't only not supposed to be this fast, they shouldn't be this composed either. And then you go up a couple of distances to the 400 meters, and you've got 16-year-old Quincy Wilson, who's still not even close to being 17 yet. He ran a 45.19 in March, a 45.17 in May, and now a 45.13 this weekend to take the New Balance High School National title.
Eyes on the time. Yard once again, 45.13 unofficially.
That's outright more consistent than the majority of pro 400 meter runners out of the US right now. And just a gain like Miller, this time was run in a full high school field. This kid literally dreams of the US trials with a smile on his face.
I was just dreaming about it a couple nights ago. I was like, man, I'm in that spot now.
He's clearly built for the pressure. So give this kid an elite field to chase at trials. Sub 45 could seriously happen, but that still isn't exactly a Team USA spot. But it would be a straight up legendary world record for his age group, considering the fact he's only 1 millisecond behind it right now. And then there's these girls, gunning to a championship title in 11.53 seconds and 11.58 seconds. That's pretty fast for a high school nationals, right? This is middle school. The winner is 13-year-old Melanie Doggett, and in second place is 12-year-old Zoe Holt. They literally ran faster than majority of my races last season. Additionally in this race, Doggett took the age grade 13 world record, and Zoe Holt takes the age grade 12 world record, which was ironically held by Doggett from last year. So that basically means Doggett just pulled this girl to break her own world record. Now I want you to imagine, you've committed your first petty crime in Kenya. You're running. You look back, and it's Ferdinand Omanyala chasing you with a gun. Okay, enough with the theatrics. He's a cop during the day. Pretty cool, right? Policeman Omanyala just spit out a legal 9.79 seconds in the men's 100. A new world lead and an extremely rare sub 9.8 performance.
9.80 improves on his time. Ferdinand Omanyala to clean.
A mark only achieved by 11 men in history. Yet, an asterisk is still needed. Firstly, altitude. Nairobi, Kenya sits at 5,500 feet. And without boring you, the air is thinner so there's less resistance, making sprinting a little bit easier. And let's be real, Omanyala runs his best in the comfort of his home country with the thin air. And to really cement this narrative, he's run 7 sub 9.9 times, 5 of them in Kenya. And even adjusting this 9.79 to standard conditions, that's about a 9.9 second performance. But that's not even really a negative. Omanyala has previously struggled to run fast when it matters. But with a time like this, at this time of year, his hopes to better plan his season is truly coming to fruition. This year you could consider him a serious medal contender. But a sprint world lead out of the distance capital of the world, not even the best performance of the meet. We saw a 1 minute and 41 second in the men's 800 meter, and this came from 19-year-old Emmanuel Wanyoni.
The leader, Kinyamal in tow, it's Wanyoni crossing the line,
fast with 1:41.71. This must be his personal best, and of course I think it's
The general consensus this year is that the 800 was anyone's game, but with a 1 minute 41.70 second time, the now third fastest time in history, by a 19-year-old, you could almost say it's game over for everyone else. And I mean, just look at that finishing strength. This also happened to be about a 2-second world lead, which is massive, except that two other runners at the same meet, in Kinyamal and Kadali, also ran in the 142s. In theory, that makes them heavy favourites for 1, 2 and 3 at this year's games. But honestly, the 800 never really goes to plan. Now up the road at Ethiopia's trials, Yomif Kajelcha, also at altitude, had to fight for his life to barely take his national title in what's now the 7th fastest time of all time in the men's 10K. 26 minutes, 31.01 seconds, followed by Aragawi, only 10 milliseconds behind. And who was third? Just the defending Olympic champion. Distance, depth in Ethiopia and Kenya honestly makes you a bit depressed they can't send more than 3 athletes to the Olympics sometimes. Oh, also, the greatest female sprinter of all time just opened her season. And shout out to O&M for one of the best hype tweets I've ever seen. This 100 meter was seriously one of the most anticipated openings this year, and to an 11.15 second time.
Price on the outside, Johnny Williams is there too. It's Williams and Fraser-Pryce. Fraser-Pryce wins it easily.
Jamaicans be on suicide watch right now. Okay, but seriously, was this unexpected? Not really. She's 37, and there wasn't a reason to not open earlier, besides injuries. So was she screwed? Not entirely. She wasn't running full throttle, 11.15 seconds isn't even bad anyway, and in my extremely dodgy opinion, it might be a bit tight to make the Olympic team. But with a time frame of just shy of 2 months to get into peak shape for the actual Olympics, that's more than doable. And in fact, you know what? I'm outright confident she will be at Paris this year, stomping on the other girlies. Sharika and Elaine though, I'm going to go ahead and say they might actually be in trouble. Also, I was really keen to see what Akeem Blake could do at the same meet. And he tripped out the blocks. Shit. The Olympics are coming nearer, and the results are getting out of hand. This isn't even a weekly series anymore. So in saying that, I'll be seeing you very soon.